discussion, key informant interviews, farmer respondents who were randomly sampled. The effects of pandemic was determined by asking them using these 5 skills: not affected to greatly affected. So what are the results of this short study? So who are these agroforestry farmers? So they are relatively young, in the 4 upland farming communities, with a mean age of 48. Their mean household size is 6, quite big, but it's normal in the Philippines. And most of them were male. So this finding confirms that up to now, agriculture is still a male-dominated livelihood activity, but it's also good to note that there are also a number of women who are now engaged in farming. And of course, their main source of livelihood is farming, from which they generate an annual estimated income of less than $200 to $400 per year, which only suggests that the farmers live below the poverty line. The poverty threshold in the Philippines is about $200 to $250 per month for a household with members of 5. So practically, they live below the poverty line. And in terms of involvement in farming, I've said earlier that the mean household size is 6, but actually the mean number of household members involved in farming is only 2. Usually the household head with a spouse. And what about their farms? So this study confirms that indeed these farmer respondents are smallholders because they cultivate lands with less than a hectare. So the mean farm size is 0.77 hectares with a mean crop area of only 0.64 hectares. But it's also good to note that despite while they are situated in upland communities, their production areas are situated in flat areas which are suitable for vegetable production. Their farms are generally rain-fed. So again, climate change has impact has actually created impact on the availability of water. So any change in the rainfall pattern would certainly affect their crop production activities. But it's good to note also that most of them own the farms that they cultivate. So this means that they can decide in terms of the choice of crops, in terms of the technology that would be adopted, and on other decision-making processes. So they are the main decision makers. Now, what are the components of their vegetable-based agroforestry system? Of course, their farms are dominated with vegetables, vegetable-based agroforestry system, together with root crops, fruit trees, forest trees, and some cultivate cereals like corn, and also about 77% are raising livestock as additional source of food and income for the household. And mostly, these farm components are intended primarily for marketing. Okay? Now, given the socioeconomic characteristics of these smallholder farmers and the biophysical conditions of their farms, what have been the general effects of pandemic on their agricultural production? So this figure shows that indeed, the agricultural production of these smallholder farmers were affected by pandemic because of the 3 factors: quarantine, lack of transportation, and market closure, which have contributed immediate effects on their crop production. Like, for example, they reported that they lack access on farm inputs such as fertilizers and planting materials. They also find it hard to hire farm laborers because of quarantine. And this have certainly affected their crop production activities. And during the height of the pandemic, there was practically very limited